Hey friends, I'm Keely Dunn of FHumpires. This is Umpire at Home, episode 18, and you are my absolute favorites. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited. Good evening and good day and all the good times to you all. Today we have none other than the legendary Soledad Iparraguirre joining us on Umpire at Home. And fun fact, I can actually spell her name a lot better than I can pronounce it. And I think I just proved it to you. But anyway, I'm glad she stepped away because you didn't hear me say it. But before I bring her on, I would love to say hi to everybody and see who's on, look at your shining avatars, and find out what the weather's like in your area. It's kind of like one of my favorite things to do. And while you're all popping on, I thought I'd just give you a little quick reminder here that the FHU 3T, the third team clip library, is now up and running. So we have on there searchable descriptions of every clip that I've mounted. And these are the hundreds of clips that I've generated over the last few years. And in addition, there's all kinds of tags that I've attached to the clips with the type of foul, the area in the pitch that happened, the teams involved, all kinds of stuff. So it's really easy to find exactly what you're looking for. And there's a discussion area on each and every clip that I'm moderating. So you may have noticed that if you're on the internet at all, that there's lots of accounts that put up clips and give you really good insights like, what's your call? And then there's a bunch of discussion, and you come out of it not having any clue what the heck is going on. So this is where you're going to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff and really find out information that is going to help you umpire better when you're on the pitch. So give it a shot. The green membership library is $20 US a month, and there's a 7-day free trial because I want you to be able to test it out and see if you're going to get value from this. And if you do, great. Hang out. It's a lot of fun. I'm really proud of it. I've been working really hard on it for a number of years. Oh my God. So there you go. FHU3T.com is where you find it. So there you are. Now I'm going to start to say hi to everybody, and I'm going to get rid of this window. All right, let's see what's happening. I've been seeing some solstice greetings and some happy midsummers. So, yes, Simon, happy midsummer to you as well. I wouldn't try to say that the Swedish way. I'm not stupid. Liam, good morning. Roshi, hola. I almost said bonjour. I don't know. Where is my French coming from? This is what happens. Languages in the brain. Good morning, Dennis. Good to see you. Missed you on Thursday at the Hit About. Don't know where you were. It's sunny in Surrey and Nirmal, hi from a very sunny Wolverhampton. I think it might be sunny in lots of places in the world because it's sunny here. I've decided that's how it works. If there's good weather here, it's great everywhere. So I'm not logical. Ruth, good morning. Ian, bright sunny East London. See, I'm not wrong. Martin, you're here. Good. I need my joke writer. Alan, good morning. Colleagues from Coacha, Keely and Sully. We are going to probably raise the memory of Coacha since it was such a great experience for me. And Alan, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Staying sunny again in Antwerp. Allendale, it's bright and sunny in Northeast Hampshire in the UK. You bet it is. And Terry, good morning. So much affection. I just don't know what to do with it with you. You're usually a lot meaner to me. Kata, hola! Hi, Kata. Good to see you. Yes, it's been a very long time since we've seen each other. Give me a shout on the DMs. Give me a shout on WhatsApp. I want to know what's going on in your life right now. Gary Joy, good morning from sunny Essex. You're going to watch and listen to the broadcast, and your beloved Arsenal on the TV. I don't know what that means. What's an arsenal? Is there weaponry involved? Is it a war? I don't know. Audrey's here from Jamaica. Good. I am so glad you're here, Audrey. It's so nice to see PATH friends, especially when I have a PATH guest on. So fantastic. So, you guys, I think that we're almost ready to bring on our very special guest. Now, this is going to be really exciting for me because not only is Soledad an absolute legend in umpiring circles, personally, she's somebody that I've looked up to for a long time. And as Alan Waterman did indicate earlier, She's somebody that I've worked with in umpire managing capacity. She was my mentor, my head umpire when I was the umpire manager in Cochabamba at the South American Games 2 years ago now, and it was a fantastic experience. So I hope we're going to get a chance to talk a little bit about that as she's coming on. Oh, there's a few more people saying hello, so let me get it in. Lim, good morning, afternoon. No, it's evening for you right now. Goddard's is there. It's fantastic. Gary, don't take me too seriously. I know what Arsenal is. I just don't care about football at all. I know. I've just lost all of you as friends. I know. I get it. It's just, it's how I'm built. Yes. Good morning, Devendran. Great to see you. Yeah. Okay. So, you guys, if you are ready, I am certainly ready, and we are going to bring on Soledad. If she's turning on her mic and her camera, I'm going to get ready to bring her, and let's see what happens. Gary's giving me all the thumbs up because he realizes that I was teasing him. And here she is, Soledad Iparraguirre. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you?
Hello, good morning from Argentina. My time, everything is good here, except the virus, of course, but everything is fine. So happy to be here with you, sharing this time and experiences. And also, I reinforce what you said about 2 years ago, and in Cocha, the experience that we have and we share with your first international tournament as So we have a lot of memories there, good ones and some not very good ones, but didn't depend of us.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we didn't have a pitch one day before the tournament, but it's
Minor
okay.
details.
We try to, yes, adapt our skills to these kind of situations to be able to run the tournament anyway. But it's okay. So happy to be here, talking to you, sharing things, and happy to see you also at least in the computer. Since we cannot meet each other. Yes. So I'm here. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. All good.
Good to hear it. Soledad, you've been so busy in the last, I don't know, I think especially the last month. You have been doing nonstop webinars. You've been teaching for the FIH Academy. You've been doing webinars for all kinds of Argentinian Hockey Association, educational reach outs and things like that. I'm amazed that you could even carve out this time to come on with us, because it just seems to be like everywhere. How are you fitting it all in, and how are you coping with the shift from doing things in person to doing everything online like this?
Well, first at all, we are locked down in Argentina. Today it's exactly 3 months since then. And my main job as a lawyer is not working because court is closed, it's not working. So I will say, more time to spend with the hockey than what I normally do. And I made a decision that during this time, since a lot of people doesn't have a contact with hockey because hockey is frozen around the world. I know that some teams are starting to train, but they are not tournaments, no meetings, nothing. So I thought, and I proposed to myself to say, okay, how we keep people involved, how we keep people training, how we keep people, in terms of umpiring, of course, this is the side that I look after in our world. So I said, well, I received proposals like FIH Academy to run different courses. I finished my 3rd course yesterday. I was the first one in Spanish, and I did 2 with Kun in English, and I shared with Paco the last one yesterday. And then also I have my place in the confederation where I have almost 240 umpires.
Yeah.
Like in my shoulders in terms of make the appointments. We have 85 national tournaments a year. What means to make the appointments for all those tournaments? Yes, what is about 800 appointments. And then yes, and I feel, and I am responsible for all of them. Of course, I have people in each area, in each region, that they deal with the situations, follow the umpires, make the reports, but the final responsibility is mine. Mm-hmm. So since we are not going to have tournaments this year in the confederation, at least national tournaments, I said, okay, how we do to keep these people, especially motivate when they do know that they don't have anything coming up. They will not have any tournament until March next year, maybe, if we are lucky. So also I have my place in the Buenos Aires Association, where I am in the coaching of 160 umpires, of course, also working with other people. I am not the only one, we are 5, but I am the head of that. So I have to deal and manage the agenda with, sessions for Buenos Aires umpires, Argentinian umpires. I did some webinars for PAF, I think 4, and then the courses of FH Academy, and then I started to do something that I really enjoy, that is live in Instagram every Saturday, where I choose what to talk about, and people come to the conversation, and many things. So so far I am enjoying everything. So as long as I enjoy that, for me it's fine. So my boys are also also older, so they are 25, 18. So I don't have the same need in terms of take care of them, things that like being behind them all the time. So I try to use this time that the life is frozen to keep people in contact and motivate, and trying to convince them to train the visual training of tackles and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm spending my time doing all those things, but they make me happy. So the decision I make in my life in terms of hockey mainly is that as long as they make me happy, I do it. Yeah. If I'm not enjoying them, I will leave them. So I'm good. Awesome. Good. Some days tired, yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy, so I don't regret.
Yeah, we'll get into all the things about the challenges and the joys and the rewards of being an umpire manager in a little bit, because it's something that I'm getting into. I think there's a lot of umpires here who are going to be listening who are also either playing dual role or they're in that manager role area. So we're definitely going to get into all of that kind of stuff. But I want to hear a little bit more about hockey in Argentina, because I don't think a lot of us know what your kind of league and tournament structure is like. You said you've got 85 national tournaments that have to be staffed by umpires, so over 800 appointments. Is that the main body of the hockey that's being played, or is there a league as well that has to all be administered? Is that how is that working?
No, it is just one part of the hockey in our country. It's one part. Yeah. So we have, just think that we have about, I think it's 300,000 players in the country. So yes, amazing. So the thing is, this is like the part or the side of the national events, national tournaments. What means, for example, that is 2 parts. That, for example, Buenos Aires plays Cordoba, Cordoba plays Salta, the select team or the region team. I don't know what's the real name in English. Like the team of Buenos Aires play Cordoba, Cordoba plays Salta. So they are tournaments where they go for 4 days. They live together, they stay in the same hotel, of course, like if it was international tournaments, and they play each other for 4 days. So they used to play seven games in 4 days, okay? Even the last day finals, or they play 7 and 8. Yeah. So apart of that, you have the clubs competition, national clubs competition. So the winners or the more qualified teams of Buenos Aires, Salta, Córdoba, Mendoza, all the provinces play each other different tournaments in different regions. We have the country separate in 5 regions. So each region has the tournament A, B, C, D, A, and F. Wow. So you have to do this by 5.
Yeah.
So, by 5, yes. So clubs of that region that play with them, between them. And then you have the other region, and you have the other region, okay. So they are clubs competition. And also you have the indoor competition, whereas in the south mainly, right. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, because it's very, very cold. The summer they have is very, very short. and the national competitions. So this is the structure of the country. And a part of that, we have our own structure in our federation and our province. For example, in Buenos Aires, you have the Metro, or the, I think it's the biggest tournament in the country, where you have teams in A, B, C1, C2, D1, 2, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and F from 1 to 6. And each category has 14 teams. So it means that we have more than 120 teams, club teams, of course, playing every Saturday from March to November, like long tournament. This is Buenos Aires, what is like this, where I will say 4 million people live, like this. And then you have the same in the rest of the province of Buenos Aires, different tournaments. And you have Cordoba tournament, Salta tournament, Mendoza tournament. I don't want to call all the time the same provinces, but it's just an example, okay? And each province, that we are 24, we have the local tournament. And the winners of those teams play the tournament that I mentioned before in Confederation, and this is how it works. So this is all about 300,000 players.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to be in charge of.
Yes.
And just think that only in the umpiring side is a lot of people taking charge of taking care of the tournaments schedule, you know, and the fixture, and you know how they qualify. And so only in the Confederation we have 85 tournaments what they run, and they go from March to the end of November, I will say. Yes. Yeah. So it's a lot. We are very lucky in that way. We are very lucky. It's a lot of work to do. And yeah, so I coordinate and I am in charge with the national umpires, which means that, for example, Buenos Aires as association has 8 or 10 or 12 national umpires. Cordoba has 15, Rosario has 12. I don't know, it's not just only examples. So in total, coming from all the provinces, they are 240. So we have people like coming up, and we have people who have been umpiring for more than 20 years, for example. Yeah. So they are in a big group, and they are able to umpire national tournaments. And of course, they have to be umpiring in their association. If they are not regular, if they are not umpiring regular in their association, they cannot umpire the national tournaments.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a big picture.
That is amazing. It sounds like
I only describe.
Yeah. You probably only even got a slice of it, but there's so many opportunities, so many different levels at which umpires can find, you know, places to grow and progress and get access to people like you and so many other great umpires coming out of Argentina. I mean, now it all makes sense. Now I can understand when you guys step on the stage at your very first tournament, why you are so prepared. And this is something that I noticed coming out of PAF, is that, you know, I plopped into my first tournament and I was lost. I had no idea what was happening. But every time I saw an Argentinian, you're professional, you know the system, you're composed, you're used to the pressure. It's just absolutely, you know, because you've had all that preparation at home, which is amazing. So it makes sense why so many of you are the best in the world. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I know. Not many countries have that so big structure. I know that. I think it's also a consequence of the quantity of the players that we have. I mean, like 300. I think it's almost 400. I'm not sure. Not sure, but it's 400,000 players, I think, between women's and men's. I'm not 100% sure. I will say in between 300 and 400,000. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Amazing. So Confederation is also very busy, you know, because it's in charge of all those players. Yeah. So we deal with that. So it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So here's a question from Simon. He's asking if you have problems getting enough umpires for all of that hockey, or do you, because you've built up the structure and you have so many levels and places that you can call them up from, is it easy to appoint all the umpires? Do you have enough bodies, or is that a struggle?
It's not easy. What I did is I designed a new structure the last 4 years. This is when I talk about this, I talk about confederation, where the umpires have three or four different levels. Of course, the highest level is the international level. That is something that doesn't depend on me. I mean, like if Carolina, for example, is Olympic umpire, well, it's a FH decision. Okay, and then we have national A, then we have just national, and then we have regional umpire. So I designed a structure where the umpire has to pass different instances on different levels. For example, someone who starts this year, okay, has to do the course, then has to go to under 16 or under 18 years tournament, has to pass there. If the first tournament goes well, goes to the second one. If the second tournament goes well, after to pass a course and the exam that we do with Diego Barbas. Diego Barbas is in charge of all of that part. Then we call him or her regional umpire. So that person has to be at least 1 year in that category to go or to be upgraded to national.
Okay.
Okay. So it means that in the next senior tournament, we are all still talking about clubs competition, because that person will not go to any like national tournament where the best players and the best team play. If he qualifies or she qualifies to be upgraded, national umpire after 1 year and after maybe 2 or 3 tournaments. So what I do is I have people who look after and take care, and I would say more follow, the umpires in the local federation. So we also pay attention in their commitment, how often they are available to umpire, their commitment if they go to the meetings, to receive coaching, if they are really training training physically, all of these things. And when times comes to make appointments, we look at all of that. And when we talk about clubs, competitions, I call the people who I call referent or the head of that province or region, and I say, okay, how is Kelly going, for example? Is she okay umpiring? How often? Is she fit? Does she have overweight? These kind of questions. And we make together, well, it's true. Sorry. And it's true. And we make the appointments together with that person of that region, okay? In some regions, like where Rosario is, for example, there are a lot of provinces with a lot of hockey. So in that region, maybe I have 3 or 4 people helping me. So what I do is I have a big Excel with all the tournaments where all the umpires go and the feedback of those tournaments. So I follow up all of them. So when times come to make appointments for the national tournaments where the national provinces team play. So imagine that, for example, the top tournament here play 12 teams, and you have to appoint 8 umpires, 8 or 10. Since we have a video umpire now, I am appointing 10. So I have to pick 10 in between 240, but it's not easy. So
Wow.
how I do this is to after to that follow, after following all their performance, feedbacks and reference from the head of the region and all of that. Well, I say, okay, who deserves to go to this tournament because of this, and this. Okay, Kelly goes. Okay, so well, that is the way. It doesn't mean that always they are correct decisions or right decisions. And I try to get a balance when I make the appointments. I am doing this for the Confederation since 2013, so it's been 7 years now.
Okay.
It's to people who really give me the warranty, I would say, that everything will go well. I mean, umpires with enough enough experience to deal with situation and teams who are really hard to deal with. The players who play in the national team, and I still play for their provinces, and then well. So the thing, you need people is really strong, and I try to bring each tournament at least 2 umpires who are coming up, who maybe never been in that kind of tournament, and I take them to, because someday they have to start. I cannot use always the same 8 umpires. Right. It's not fair. It's not possible. One day they will not be there, and who is going to replace them? So what I do is, in the under 21 tournament, what is the same than the junior tournament everywhere, and the senior tournament, I try to take 2 new umpires who are the best of the second part or the second round, to give the opportunity to grow up, And if the next year these 2 umpires went well, okay, maybe I take next year. And then some people I start to say, listen, maybe it's not your time again, maybe I will not say it's time to retire. It's not my decision or it's not my business to tell you, listen, Kelly, I don't want to use any Argentinian name, because
sure.
I don't want to touch anybody's heart. Anybody's heart, so I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to tell you, Kelly, you have to retire, but I try, if I feel that your time for retire is coming, what I will say is, do you want to start as a for example, in your region? So I try to prepare that person to start to change the role, so one day when I need her or him in that role, she will be more prepared and will feel less sad to leave the umpiring. So, well, it's not easy. It's not easy. I will say it's not all the decisions are always the right decision. Mm-hmm. You have to take risk in every tournament, in each tournament, and sometimes the results are okay. Sometimes the results are not what you expected. But when you are in the position where you have to take risk and make decisions, it's very possible that something will not go well. Not always everything goes well. Yeah. And you have to be prepared for that. Otherwise, stay at home, watch TV, and say, why is Kelly in this game? Well, who make this appointment? So, I mean, it's like it's the
same thing everywhere, right?
Our decisions in your life. Yeah. Everywhere. You want to stay at home and see, oh, no, I believe this appointment is not the best one. Or you take a role, you take responsibilities, you try to help them, the umpiring and the hockey in general, and you say, okay, I will do this. Okay, of course I will do mistakes, but the one who do mistakes is the one who does something. Otherwise, you don't do mistakes if you stay at home and watch on TV. So it's like anything in life. Take risk.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so this is how it works. I don't know if I explained you enough or...
Oh, no, I think so. A couple people did have a couple questions, just and maybe with Normal, he's asking here if umpiring in Argentina is all centrally organized. And I think you pretty much explained that as the chair of the Confederation umpiring committee, you coordinate all of the regions, right? So that's part of your job, is that you work with, well, I don't even want to list them all off. I just know their acronyms. And so you're the one that's helping, making sure all the regional competitions are staffed by the right people and that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. That makes a ton of sense.
Yes. So everything is centrally by the Confederation. Yeah. The Confederation is in charge of all the national tournaments. Yeah. So I am the head of the umpiring. I would say the chair of the umpiring committee there, but the Confederation organize all the national tournaments, clubs and select teams or provinces teams.
Cool. Andy Waller here is just saying, asking if you want him to book his tickets to come over right now. I mean, it sounds like there's so many opportunities and things like that. Do you get umpires coming over from other countries to take part in the competition, and how do you handle that? Because I went over to England for 6 years. And I probably should have headed down to Argentina, because I would have learned Spanish and gotten some, also amazing PAF experience. But do you have any of that sort of interchange with any of the other countries around, or?
Well, we used to do, it's a hard question in terms of to have a fair answer. We used to help umpires from, for example, from Chile, from Uruguay, where the competition is not so big or so strong. People from Paraguay, for example, we have two umpires from Paraguay who are really, really good with a lot of you know them, Fabian and Vicky. So because maybe the competition in Paraguay is not so strong, you need to help them. You need to help them to improve and have experience. But in the same time, if I appoint them, for example, what I used to do is when I need umpires and in that region, I need more umpires, or I need 8 umpires or 10 umpires, and only I found and I identified that 8 can go, for example, okay? I try to call them, but what I cannot do it is to take you off to put one of them, because that is the problem.
Yeah.
So we have so many umpires now. It's very competitive, very competitive. People will not accept this, but it is very competitive. And people is checking the appointments all the time. So they will say, okay, so Vicky is there from Paraguay, and why Kelly, who is Argentinian, is not there? So the thing is, most of the time, people don't know the background of the things, you know? They don't know the behind the curtains, what is going on. They don't know that maybe has been for 2 weeks looking for umpires to go to that tournament, and no one is available.
Right.
So they don't know that. They just read the appointments and say, why someone from Paraguay is there and not some Argentinian? So they don't know that part.
Right.
But when that happens, and I need umpires, and every time I have the opportunity to bring them, I just call those names as an example, because I did the same, or I do the same for Federico from Uruguay, Federico Garcia from Uruguay. We have one guy from Costa Rica, who I organized games or practice game. This is Andre from Costa Rica, and came here for 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, I organized for him games, training. He go from one club to other club to practice. I umpire with him on the weekend, like it was under 18 division, and you know. But I cannot take the place of other people to appoint them. So as long as there is a place to appoint someone, I will call them, and I'm happy to help them. But I have limited chances because of this. It's this. I will when we have 100 umpires, I will say 120 umpires in 2013. Okay, was easier. But now, since we have 240, so this quantity of umpires and 85 tournaments means that each umpire should go to 6 tournaments, about each year.
Right.
Something like that. It works. Okay. So because in terms of how many umpires do you appoint each tournament, because it's about 800 750 including indoor during the year. So appointments in total. So if you have 240, some people may go for one tournament because they are regional, and some people because they just study and they have plenty time free. They say, I'm available. Okay. So maybe if you need umpires, they go to 6 tournaments. So what is okay? It's fine. So I try to balance all of that. So but for your question, if I have the chance, I help them, and I'm very, very happy to help them. But I have that problem now, that issue to resolve and be fair with the rest. And people, as I said to you, they don't read behind the curtains. They don't know what is going on. They just read the appointments and say, okay, well, these 2 are coming to our tournaments. So, but this is the truth. This is what happens. So I have the support of the Confederation, because they pay the bus ticket from where they live to the border with Argentina. Okay?
Okay.
So the closer border where they have to go to the, for example, Vicky and Fabian used to go to Salta. So they pay the ticket from where they live, just say Asunción in Paraguay, to the border with Argentina. And so from that border to the city where they will play the tournament, we pay no, I don't pay. The Confederation pays the ticket because they will pay anyway to any umpire who lives there. So for Argentina, it's exactly the same cost. If you go, I go, whoever goes, coming from Argentina. So they pay from their own cost that part of the ticket.
Okay.
So bus, I'm calling bus ticket, not airline ticket. Bus ticket, of course, is their choice, but they are investing in their umpiring, so it's their decision.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So it is how it works. So
That's crazy.
I guess we have other questions. I see other questions coming up.
We do have a lot of questions. Yeah. Rob 10 Cat wants to know if umpires are paid over there. Yes, it's Mr. 10 Cat.
Umpires
he's got us.
Yeah. Hello, Rob. Hello. How are you? We did shed many tournaments, and we met in India last year, by the way. Well, in the national tournaments, the tournaments I am talking about so far, they don't get paid. They got the money for the meals. They get the money for the bus ticket. So it means that if you if you fly, you make a choice to fly, you pay the difference. You got the money from the cost of the bus, so you will pay the difference if you want to fly, to take a flight. So it is allowed, but as long as you pay the difference. So they give you the money for the cost of the bus. So you get the money for meals, you get the money for the bus, and they pay you the hotel. So you don't get any money extra. So you are there 4 days for free, just because you love it. And I will say that it's more than 4 days, because you have to be there on Wednesday afternoon, I will say 7 p.m. So what means that some umpires have to leave their province on Tuesday, because they don't have buses all the time. So maybe the last bus, I will say, from Mendoza to Buenos Aires, I don't know, leaves on Tuesday. Yep. So to be on Wednesday afternoon, you have to leave on Tuesday to be in Buenos Aires in the morning. So you are leaving on Tuesday and you coming home on Monday. So at the end of the day, they are not 4 days, they are almost 6. So we don't get paid for that. We get paid when we umpire the local tournament. When I umpire here, because I still umpire, and in Buenos Aires I get paid, people from Cordoba get paid, people from Mendoza gets paid, everybody gets paid in the national associations.
Right.
But not the national tournament. But still they fight and they kill each other to go to all the national tournaments. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Trust me, it's unbelievable, because anybody will say, okay, I guess behind that is money, because otherwise you cannot go to 6 tournaments, a year, 6 days for free. Well, believe me, trust me, it's no money. It's no money, and people really love to go there, and it's very competitive. It's good in some way, because they try to, be there in the main and the biggest appointments. They try to be there, and then when they don't see their name, they say, no, I'm not going this year, And I live that part. I went through this part.
Yes.
I went through this part. And in the other hand, it's also true that the umpires who we have been very lucky to have the opportunity to be international umpires. Maybe we live this experience, or we go through this experience differently. I mean, what I want to say is we still value and we still care and we still love the national tournaments, but we have other opportunities in many ways to travel, to meet people, to umpire really great hockey, a lot of things, And for most of the umpires, national tournaments are the highest what they can expect to get. So they really want, they really wish to be there, and I have an issue with, I don't want to call her name, but of the international umpires that we do have here is one of the girls. The last 2 years I used to I didn't appoint her for the highest tournament here, okay, because she is international. And I said, well, listen, I'm not going to, maybe you will deserve to be here, to be there, but since you have other opportunities going, away for international hockey, blah, 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 I think other people deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And she told me crying, but I want to be there. Please appoint me if I deserve to be there. I don't mind if I appoint umpire. I still want to be there because I love these tournaments. I want to be there, please. And I see, the other side of the coin. And I say, well, it's not only about the travel or meet other people. They love to share those 4 days, 5 days, dinners, having mate. I guess most people, mate because you drink mate. So they have to share the mate in the stands. They love to share their dinners at every day after the games. When I speak about these tournaments, I am speaking about 10 or 12 days a day.
Yeah.
So I am speaking about 42, 48 games in 4 days. So I don't know if everyone realized that. So I'm speaking about tournaments with 3 or 4 pitches playing in the same time from 8 in the morning until some days 10, 11 in the evening. Last year in Mar del Plata, we have a tournament where rain all the time for 4 days. And we play until 4 in the morning because the players wanted. They really, really wanted to play the games. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how, doesn't matter if the umpires wanted to know. So they wanted to play, and they played 4 in the morning, and they were happy. And the umpires, of course, we're here to umpire. So, and the following game started at 8 in the morning, next day. And we only slept 2 hours because I tell you this, to be in the national tournaments in Argentina, you come home on Sunday night if you're lucky because you live close, or you come home Monday and you feel that you need to stay in bed 2 days.
Yep.
Just looking at the roof and doing absolutely anything. If you don't eat, if you don't drink, you don't care because you need to recover yourself. I said, wow, how I get over of this and how I go to work on Monday, how I go is very, very demanding, demanding. And sometimes the weather conditions that doesn't help because it rains a lot or because it's very hot or because it's very humid. You are 12 hours there. But, at the end of the tournament on Sunday, you see the faces of all of them taking the picture of the end of the tournament. Some of them crying like if there was, the trip that you do when you finish the high school. And you see, okay, because you have that feeling. Trust me, you have that feeling. You look at them, maybe because I'm getting old, almost 49, and I see the big picture different. Maybe I was in that situation and I didn't realize that. But you see the situation, you look at there and you say, well, they love to be here. And you see the faces, and it's when you feel that you only need 1 week in bed because you cannot stand up and you cannot smile, you cannot, the only thing you want is cry because you slept maybe 10 hours in 4 days. And then you say, no, it's really worth. It's really worth. Oh. And you look at them and you say, you really, really worth. It's really worth. So, okay, that's the story. Maybe you wanted a shorter story, but I don't know. Sorry if it was too long. But, when you ask me, Sansi, I tell you the big story.
Remember that time when we were getting ready for this call and you were like, well, I don't know what we're going to talk about. And I said, I'm pretty sure you're going to do just fine. So there you go. I do have a question that actually is really interesting here. Oh, wait, let me put it on like this. Caroline wants to know, how do you get all these umpires in the first place? Where are you recruiting them from? in your development pathway? Do the clubs have to put umpires into courses and then they get fed into the different associations, or how does that work? Where do they start? And why are there so many of them?
Okay. They come from the land, you know, like the tomatoes and the potatoes. They come from here. No, as a joke. I hope everybody takes this in the funny way. It's not I'm not trying to compare this with any tomato or any potatoes. Anyway, we have like the two different lines. I always say two different lines. I mean, in the national associations, all the national associations used to run courses like level 1 to bring people who wants to be an umpire, just an umpire, okay? And then you start to umpire in your association, and you umpire, for example, in Buenos Aires. Okay, fine. And you, Kelly, umpire in Cordoba. Maybe I never met you because we don't qualify as a national umpires. This is one line, I will say, one road. And then you have the way of the national umpire. So what we did is we changed the way 3 years ago with Gaston, you know, and people from the Confederation.
Yep.
That in this way, because the regulation before, for many years, I started in 1996, and it was already like that, and didn't change until 3 years ago. So each tournament under 14 and under 16, the different associations, as long as their team play in that tournament, had the right to take one umpire to qualify as regional or as national. So just say that Buenos Aires is going to under 14 years tournament. Okay, perfect. So had, I would say in past, the right to take someone to qualify, but one person. Cordoba goes, one person. Santa Fe goes, one person. Mm-hmm. And the limit of umpires who they went to qualify in each tournament for was about the 50%, because the other 50% you have to appoint umpires who were already umpires. You need to guarantee, you know, the result of the tournament. So what was the outcome of that? The result of that, negative from my opinion, was that only in each year, maybe 4, 6, 10, 8, I would say 10 umpires had the opportunity to qualify. But maybe Buenos Aires has 10 candidates, Cordoba has 20 candidates, and Santa Fe has 10 candidates. And another problem, that I don't have any problem to say this, is that depending who was in charge in each federation, and if you were maybe friend of that person or have very good relationship or good approach or good feeling with that person will say Kelly goes or Soledad goes, because how they decide who was going to qualify in similar condition and in equal conditions. You are very good. I am good, very good. How do you decide who goes, Kelly or Soledad? So very often, sadly, depending who was in charge, who was the president or people in charge with the umpiring, I don't want to blame anybody in special, was designed or Kelly or Soledad. What was absolutely unfair. And I think that many people over these years and over all this time lost the opportunity or missed the opportunity to be national umpire for this politics or these kind of decisions.
Yeah.
So what we did is we design and we make another structure where you start with. Remember, I am talking about national umpires.
Okay.
So if you come from one province and you have the support from that province, you are able to do the online course where, for example, Diego is in charge. I designed that course and Diego also helped me. What is about 10 classes online. This is with clips, you know, knowledge about regulations, rules, all of that. The expectation is that if you start that course, it's because you are already an umpire. Otherwise, you cannot pass that course and that exam. So, sorry. Once you pass that course, that exam, say in theory, that exam, then as long as you have the support of your federation and the medical certificate, you are able to go to one of those tournaments, under 14, under 16s, to qualify.
Okay.
So, and since we have much more tournaments in that level in the last 2 years, so before it was about 5 tournaments, and now we have 15 tournaments under 14 or under 16. Then you go to those tournaments to qualify. So it means that there are more opportunities, they are more fair, it's much more flexible, and anybody can go. So you cannot say Kelly is going because she has the support who is now in her federation. Yep. So the possibilities are open for everybody. So if you don't have the support from your federation, okay, it's something that we cannot fix, we cannot resolve, we cannot fix. Okay, something that you will have to fix with the president, the person who doesn't want to give you your the support. Okay, it's not nothing else that we can do. But at least that I'm sure that at the beginning everybody has the same opportunities. So because you can apply for that course, the confederation, I was going to say FH, the confederation control all of that. Okay, control all of that, check all of that, is the one who make the course. So we are sure that everybody knows at least the same things. So when they start, they have at least in some points the same criteria. Yeah. So this is a way I think we improve, not 100%. I don't see any better solution so far, but it's much better than before. Yeah. So this is the way how umpires start, okay, locally and in national. Yeah. So, and then you have your career and you go and go and go and go, and depends of all this structure that I described before, how you are developing and being upgraded, yes or no, and in your career.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if, yes.
Yeah, and it's incredible. And I guess Carol. Okay, I'll talk for a couple seconds. And that kind of goes back to Caroline's point where she's asking, how do you get umpires into the system? Apparently, they are literally growing on the trees.
They come along,
falling into your lap.
They appear everywhere.
They just want to. This is incredible. We need to investigate this. Yeah, it's crazy from what you're saying. We've got to figure out how to get this magic and spread it all over the world to get all of these people involved, because for most of us, the challenge is finding the starters. We can get people into hockey and get them into umpiring, and they learn through experience how great it is, but it's getting them in the door, like getting them past that threshold that you guys, apparently you've got it licked. And I think it's just because you're also passionate. I can give you
a bag of seals of umpires, and then you put in your backyard, and you put there, and one day they come out.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. And a special delivery all over the world. In fact, you should just put a few of the grown ones as well. Just put them on a plane, when all this is over. Put them on a plane, send them to all our tournaments. We'll take all these people that want to do all these tournaments for free off your hands. It would be awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to pivot a little bit.
You don't need to water them. You don't need to water them. Just you need to do what you need to do is put the rules book, every day on the land, and they come much better.
With a little mate, like you have to water them with mate every day.
Yeah. Just with the water. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, let's pivot a little bit, because we've talked a lot about the umpiring structure in Argentina. But what I want to know, I want to pull out some of your experiences and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people listening are going to know a lot about your umpiring career, your 4 Olympics and 2 gold medal games, 4 World Cups, and I couldn't get the Spanish translation as to how many of those were finals, but You did 3 finals at 4 Champions Trophies. You made the decision that you were going to retire after Rio, before the tournament, so you had it set in your mind. Did you know at that point that you were going to become an umpire manager? And how did you start sort of preparing for that? Or did you just say, okay, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to do my job now, and then I'll think about what I'm doing in the future after Rio? How did that all play out?
Okay. I made my decision to retire in 2014 after the World Cup in The Hague, because I knew that it was a hard decision for me to make, and I knew that I needed my own time to reflect about that, to think about that, and that it wasn't trying to avoid as much as possible to have that as a shock. I mean, like, I didn't want to suffer because of that. I did suffer, still making a decision. Anyway, and 2014. But I promised myself when I started in 19, I know, so young, 1997, that the day, yes, I will say the truth, I started in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
I promised myself that with the day when I felt that I wasn't the same Soledad, like in terms of fitness or commitment or whatever was the case, I was going to leave it, because I didn't want to to go my principles, my ideas, my feeling, my respect for the umpiring. So once the fitness requirements started to be higher and higher and higher, I started to realize that I didn't have the same commitment to train to be as good as I tried to be before. Mm-hmm. 2014 for me was very, very difficult tournament, because my father passed away 3 months before the tournament. So I didn't have, very sad time for me. And I didn't have the quality of time to train the months before the tournament as I would like. But I still did. I really enjoyed the tournament. I am part of the semi and I'm part of the final. It's okay. But I already have in my mind that I was going to retire in Rio, even that I was 45 in Rio, so I could go another 2 years in terms of limit age. But one thing that I didn't want for me was one day to donate in one important list. For example, to get the appointments for 2018 World Cup in London and don't be there. Because I felt that I didn't deserve that, but not because it was other people's mistake not appointed me. Because I knew that if I didn't have the same commitment, and there, I must say, for that time, it was 4 years ago anyway, there was a very, very good girls, very young, very fast, with a huge fitness, and, very, very fit, Every time I see Sarah Wilson running, I say, oh my God, I never been like this in all my career, never in my life. Yep. So it's true. I don't have any barriers, any problems to tell what I feel. I always been 100% open. So, I was watching her and said, listen, it's no way I can't be like this in 2 years' time. And trying to be, not like Sarah Wilson, but trying to be only good, or at least in what they expect from me, I needed to train 4 days a week and continue umpiring 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday, men's games on Sunday, how I was doing the last 6 or 8 years before Rio. And I didn't have that commitment. Yeah. I'm 100% honest. I didn't have that commitment. So I was not trying to reach to be on the World Cup list in London just because I have 4 Olympics and 4 World Cups, and because Soledad had a good career and she has to be there. I didn't want people to say she has to be there. If I want to be someplace, I want to be because I deserve to be there. And I think that wasn't fair for the others who were working really, really hard to get one place there, for me to put pressure on the committee because they have to appoint me. And I also had the risk that maybe I wasn't on the list, but it was very possible, very, very possible. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want that for me.
Yeah.
I prefer to say bye to the hockey rather than to hockey say bye to me.
Of course.
I always respect that. So in The Hague, when I went to the World Cup in 2014, and I had a great tournament, and I knew I was enough strong to be to a tournament up, even having not so happy because I was a little sad, and because of what happened with my father. And I said, okay, I want to plan the next 2 years. I will train to Rio. I will give the best half of me. They will see my best version. I will be 45. I don't mind. And I train. I lost 6 kilos. I mean, I did everything who was in my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try. I give up some jobs. I train 4 days a week. I umpire 4 games a weekend for those 2 years from the World Cup to Rio, and I did my best. Of course, it wasn't my happiest day in my life when I retired, because the umpiring has been the main part and the biggest part in my life, not only in terms of time, in terms of feelings and sacrifices, commitments. Think that the first time I went to the World Cup in 2002, my younger son, who yesterday was 18, had only 5 months. 5 months, and I went to the World Cup in Perth for 23 days, and I had to to live with my mom, and it's a really strong decision to make. I don't regret. The main thing for me is I don't regret. It's the most important thing for me. But anyway, so I make my decision. I'm trying to prepare my mind for that. When I was sad, I tried to look back. I said, okay, what I have done, I cannot stay with the last day or with the last tournament. I have to see and I have to look back what I have done. This is the main thing. Yeah, well, and the idea to become umpires manager, going to the second part of your question, crossed to my mind sometimes, but I didn't want to put pressure on myself to say, okay, because you have been umpiring for 20 years, once you retired, you have to be umpires manager. By the way, I know people who are my friends who retired. I didn't continue the umpire manager side, and they're still happy with their lives, and I didn't feel any commitment or any compromise with the hockey because they had to be umpires managers. Yep. So I started because the PAF needed me in one of the tournaments in 2015, in indoor hockey, what I have no idea about. So I had to study. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't like the indoor. That's the thing. I don't like the indoor. So what I did, but they needed someone there. So they said, "Can you go?" I said, "Okay." I said yes before to know that it was an indoor tournament. Okay, fine, great. So I had to study all the rules. I called Diego and I said, "Oh, please, Diego, call me. I didn't know that it was the indoor tournament. Please call, please help me." So I started to watch clips and clips and clips. Yeah. Diego lives in Tandil, what is 400 kilometers from Buenos Aires. Right. It's not so far. It's only 400 kilometers. He comes every weekend to umpire here in Buenos Aires. Yeah, because he needs to keep the level, Yeah. Otherwise, he cannot be pro league umpire with the hockey that he has in his association. It's a huge difference.
Right.
Okay. So I called Diego and I said, "Please help me." Okay. Anyway, I studied all the rules, and then I studied. Well, I watched clips and many games of the World Cups. I said, okay. Anyway, so Melina was there as well. So I started to enjoy, and I started even when I was still umpiring, 2015. And then when I retired, I already went to some PAF tournaments, small tournaments, because, PAF need a lot of help, and I'm more than happy to help our Pan Am as a federation, because they need help, and I'm more than happy to do this. Every time they call me, whatever is the case, I'm happy to help the PAF. So I went to some tournaments, and then the FIH asked me to do I don't remember how it was. They proposed me to do my traineeship in European Aero Nations in 2017 in Amsterdam. Was a great tournament, because it was a men's and women's together. Was like, wow. I was neutral there only once in my life. I think it's one of the tournaments that everybody really wished to be appointed as a neutral when you don't come from Europe. And I was appointed there in 2011 in Germany, I think it was. Yeah, okay. It's in Germany. So so I only was appointed once in 20 years. So well, anyway, so I have a really huge teachers who was Margaret. Margaret for me is really, really one of the best. I love her. I umpired with her in 2001 at the Junior World Cup. We umpired together a game in Quilmes in 2001 at the Junior World Cup. It was crazy, like funny, different to then 16 years later to meet someone in the other role to helping you. And was Karen Evans there also, and there was Xavi, Adel, and Philip from Netherlands, who really helped me a lot. And the most important thing, and I really enjoyed, was that I was doing women's and men's matches, because Philip and Xavi, they gave me the opportunity to do also men's matches. What was really good. And I tried to follow 2 or 3 guys in all their games, like Jakub or Ben from Germany, and trying to follow during the whole tournament, to give a feedback after the tournament. And I enjoyed that so much. In some cases wasn't so easy, because there were umpires like Mishi from Germany, Sarah from Scotland, of course, Irene from Argentina, that they umpired with me in Rio, or Lorraine 1 year before that. And a year time, like I was, okay, the umpires manager, it was a strange feeling. Was like, how I'm going to tell her that she's doing this wrong when I was on the field with her a year ago. So that part of the process wasn't so easy. But I've been in that situation before. I've been in that situation before when Sarah retired, and for example, in 2008, and in Beijing, and then she was umpire manager with Marlies, with Rene, with Minka. So there is a process that I think is very important, that to have respect for each other, understand now the roles changed, and which is your position, which is her position or his position, and understand that things have changed. And now you are not, hey, go for dinner, what do you think? This, I don't like the appointment. So just comments that umpires used to do. And that. So it's absolutely different. And there is, I think, a time for, I would say 2-3 years. I don't know. I don't think it's in any manual or any book where you can find a solution to see this and fix this. It's part of the life and process where everybody has to adapt yourself to the new role. And maybe someone who used to share the room. For example, in Toronto, I went to the World Cup in 2014. I shared the room with Wendy Stewart from Canada, and in 2014, I went to Toronto in 2015, and she was a UM, and less than 1 year. So it's like, okay, and I think in that case, the umpire has to help the UM more than the UM the umpire, because I expect the umpires to realize how hard it is for the umpires manager one day to swoop. He said, I know, now I am the UM and I am playing this role. So I think I always try to help them in that situation, to don't put them in not very nice situation where they have to tell me, well, listen, you did this or whatever happened. And I knew that 1 year before we were laughing about many things that happened in the tournament, and now we are playing different roles. So I expect that. I will expect that from the umpires, but I'm not sure if everyone realized that. So I will not blame anybody if doesn't do it, or I will not, say, okay, you are not very good umpire, a very good person because you don't help me. I wouldn't blame anybody for that. But I think talks very good of someone if you as an umpire can do that. Help that person to go through the process to spend that time better, because it's not easy, it's not easy. So this is how I start. Wow, yeah. If you ask me, I still prefer to be an umpire. I didn't realize how much work. I tell you, and I still think I didn't realize in my whole life of umpiring, 20 years, how much is the work that the UM does. And of course, the umpires don't see. I didn't see for 20 years why I'm going to blame someone, or why I'm going to say, the umpires don't realize how much work we do, when I didn't see for 20 years. I didn't realize. It's not that I didn't want to see. I didn't see. Sorry. I say sorry to all of them. Because I didn't appreciate enough all the time. I remember coming from the World Cup in Rosario, I think was having and chain knuckles, and or other tournaments where Sarah was, and I think London. Well, I don't remember which tournament. There are so many, and I remember them like almost sleeping in the bus coming home after, and see their faces, so tired, and I remember some days thinking, wow, this must be a lot. But I was still umpiring. I don't want to be selfish, but I was playing another role. I didn't realize. Well, once I was there, I wanted. I asked myself many times, do I really like this? Do I really like this? Do I really want to be here? But as I said to you when I said to you about the Confederation tournaments in Argentina, where after 4 days you only slept 10 days, and you see the faces. You see the faces at the end of the tournament, and you feel that there's a lot of things that you were able to give to them and help them, and that give you, I think, for me at least, that gives me a lot of happiness. Not always. Not always. Not always. I think there are some instances in these days, not in my days. I didn't understand some years ago why people say my days and these days, and now I realize why people say these days and my days, because there's a huge difference in the times,
Yep.
It's a huge difference. Okay, in my days and these days, because now there are some tournaments where there's a lot of pressure, it's especially from the coaches, and also something that maybe people don't talk much about, but the TV maybe sound okay why she's talking about this. The concerns, the regulations, the conditions, and all the things that the pressure that the TV give you and put on pressure on you during the tournaments is huge. It's huge. It's like you have to pay attention on many things, the radios, the connection, the timbre, the radio for the timbre referral, the cable who goes through your bag, the other cable, and this and this and this. And at the end of the day, the game starts when the TV wants. So just starting for that point, you realize that everything now is TV. Something that I really understand. I'm not complaining about that, but it's very, very difficult, very different of what we lived some years ago. So the pressure of the TV and the coaches. The coaches, they have a lot of tools, and they have the technology, all the technology in their hands.
Yep.
Just when something happened, and it's something that you cannot go against, because if they come with the iPad or whatever is the case, the phone or whatever, and they show you, this was a penalty corner, and your umpire didn't see, and you are there and they said, yes, sorry, if you are seeing a foot, okay, and the umpire didn't blow a penalty corner, I'm giving you the easiest example in the umpiring, and the umpire didn't blow it, and the coach shows you the clip, what are you going to say? No, sorry, she didn't feel well in that minute of the game. What are you going to say? There's nothing that you can say. There's nothing you can say, because the proof, the evidence, as the lawyers say, we say, the evidence is there. It's nothing that you can say. So it's not easy. It's not easy. To be honest, I don't feel, and I don't think that I reach the knowledge enough so far that I need to play 100% that role. I mean, I think it's a lot of things to learn. I think it's a lot of things to learn how to enjoy, because you are a lot of negative things coming from different sizes, like the coaches, the TV, the TD sometimes, who has a lot of pressure. I will never be TD. I tell you, I will never in my life be TD, because no, it's not nothing that really has been created for me. No, it's not the play for me, because it's a lot of pressure every way, all the time. People asking things, you cannot watch the games, you cannot enjoy. They work all day, they not watch the game, so it's nothing for me. So you have the comments coming from the TD. Sometimes you have TD who they have no idea about umpiring, but they still have the right to complain or make comments. What is great, fine, but give me the reasons or the arguments why you tell me this. Fine. Then you have the coaches coming to you. You have the technology coming against you sometimes. The TV and the umpires who maybe they don't feel well. So there are a lot of things to manage, to handle together. And I think that it needs a lot of preparation, and I would say more than preparation, you need experience, because as like, for example, for umpiring, okay, if I need to be fitter, or I need to be good, or I understand very good the penalty corner, okay, I watch clips, I read the book, okay, fine. I can prepare myself with other tools and different ways, but to be an umpires manager, what I found, or I find now in this at least so far, that it's a preparation that you can do, but the only thing that really helps you is the experience. It's once you go through one experience to the other experience to the other experience and going to one. But the thing is, when something happened, maybe to resolve that situation, or to fix that situation, or to make the right decision, what you think is the right decision, you don't have knowledge enough. Because you've never been in that situation. So how do you deal with that? This is what I felt so far. I must say that in the games we have here in February from the Pro League, I was appointed there with Mommy Saladino, because of course we come from Argentina, so we were appointed there. You know how it works now locally with the Pro League games, at least in the qualifier part. And I didn't enjoy much. So it's like I come home saying, do I really like this? Do I really want to be there? Because I think also because when you are appointed when your team is playing, it's worse. It's much worse because the teams, not all the teams, I will say this, not all the teams, but some teams expect that you have to benefit them in some way with decisions, like reprimanding the umpires, or you have to do something to fix something, to help them. And it doesn't work like that. And you feel very like, in between two walls, and you need to look after the umpires because it's your role. Sometimes the umpires do mistake. I did a lot of mistakes. So I'm not talking about other umpires. I'm talking about umpires in general. Okay. So umpires do mistakes, but you still need to look after them, protect them. Sometimes you cannot justify the mistake they did because it's no way to justify these mistakes. The coaches, you have the coaches here telling the truth, or their truth, or sometimes it's their truth. And to deal with all of that when you are in your country, it's much more difficult. So a pro league system, I found that hard. I guess many people will say, depending of which country. I accept that. I take that. I agree with that. I guess in other countries with other culture, with more respect for the structure, for the umpires manager and the umpires in general, I guess I have the feeling that maybe it's easier than here. But I tell you, the games, I was in 8 games and 2 weekends here, wasn't the best experience. So I'm very happy to finish or conclude the point about umpires manager, helping the continent here. I mean, I'm more than happy because I have the opportunity to see umpires coming from Guatemala, Costa Rica, Brazil, like Oliver, I don't know, many umpires who I saw them in the first game in their lives, and I see them now 3 or 4 years ago, and I said, wow, how they become umpires, like real umpires, and it really makes me very, very happy. It gives me a lot. And the other thing is, I had the feeling, or I had the need, I will say, when I retired, that because the umpiring gives me or gave me in my life the best things, of course, of us, my boys and all the things that we have to say in our lives, that gave, well, you know, it's a way that of course my boys give me a lot of happiness, but sometimes it's not everything about happiness, you know, because to be a mother is not the easiest job in the world.
It's like umpire managing, really.
No, seriously. Yeah, well, okay, and I had the need, and I feel the need to give back to the umpiring, because to be honest, the umpiring gave me the best moments in my life, in many ways. It's not only about the travel, it's the tournament I went to, the experiences I had, the people I met. I can say now that I have friends around the world, everywhere in 5 continents. So I feel very, very lucky. I asked to myself, how many people? I'm not talking about finals. I'm not talking about, how many games did you umpire? I don't know. I'm talking about how many people is so lucky to have friends in 5 continents. How many people? So it's a lot of things that the umpiring gave me. So I need to be grateful. I need to be, grateful with the umpiring, and at least what I want is to give something to them back, to you, to whoever I met. I need help in umpiring. It's like, okay, I want to help them, and I would like for each umpire in the world to have the opportunity to at least the 10% of what I have in my life.
Yeah.
In my life, I wish for each of them, because it's I don't know, it's very hard to describe, because it's a lot about feelings. Of course, my feelings are not the same than yours, because we are humans. Very lucky. We are all different, and we're unique. And I think this is very, very important for life. And I don't know, maybe my feelings are not your feelings, because we are different, of course. But the umpiring gave me everything in my life, everything. Yeah. So my wish in my life was to go to one Olympic game. It was all I want for my life, to go to one. Yep. This is all I want. When I was 22 or 24 and I started, and I was really lucky, and I was 4. So, and I umpired 2 Olympics finals. So it's like, what else can I ask? I have friends in 5 continents. It's like I met people everywhere. So it's a lot of positive things. Of course, there are some negative things, but when you make the list, I used to make in general in my life in many things, list of positives and negatives. Even when I have to make decisions.
Yeah.
And if the positive list is longer than the negative, it's still worth for me. So far, So we'll see. But the last thing I will tell about this is, at least from my side, before you make me other questions, the challenge I did to myself when I start this to be a is that if one day I don't enjoy it, or I'm not happy, I will leave it. Because I don't want to be doing something that I don't enjoy. If I feel that I cannot give you as an umpire the best of me, I will leave it. I don't have like big ambitions or big I want to go to one Olympic. I was in the U Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, hockey 5, the Olympic Games in Buenos Aires in 2018, I think it was. So it was like my 5th Olympic, but different, different role. I did enjoy a lot. It was 12 games a day still.
Yeah.
And very demanding, journeys of 16 hours. Yes, a lot. I did enjoy a lot. I met people like Pep from Belgium. I met the guy from New Zealand, and it's like, wow, people who I never met in 20 years. And you say, how I never met these guys in 20 years, being around all the time. So great. Hockey 5, new experience, and was like, I don't know. It's like, but that part I'm sure. If I don't enjoy it, I will leave it. Yeah. I will not go against my feelings. So as long as I have the best of me to give, I will stay.
Okay.
So,
there was something that you said just a couple minutes back that I found really interesting, and you talked about how things that are hard or challenging, you actually have to learn how to enjoy that. And I've been reading a lot about happiness and contentment and personal development and all this kind of stuff, and that idea that not everything in your life that is rewarding is going to be fun. It's not going to be like, woo, this is great and everything's easy. And that's not where true enjoyment comes from. Sometimes it's about taking the hard experience and enjoying just working through that process and what it gives you and the way it challenges you and how you come out the other side of it. So I really love that point, because that, in a nutshell, I think is what umpire managing is for me, is because like you said, it is the hardest job. You are working just nonstop throughout the tournament, and it's mentally and emotionally exhausting, and somehow it's physically exhausting even though you're not on the pitch. So learning to enjoy that is a big part of the process. So I absolutely loved that you pointed that out. And when you talked about your philosophy about how you want umpires to it's about giving back to them and being able to develop them. And you and I talked about this in Coacha, that there's also that whole thing that, because over 20 years of international experience, even if you're Soledad, you have bad tournaments, you have bad experiences, things that maybe structurally or politically you're not happy how they went, and I certainly had a lot of those things, and I am so determined that I want things to be better for the next generation, that I can't give up, because I have to reset that. I have to reset that balance. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving it like that. I want to make sure that the people that I get to work with have a better experience than I did, and feel more strongly and more positively and are more passionate about umpiring. And if I can do that, I think that will really fulfill me as a person. So I really like that you pulled that out too. That was really amazing. I was just giving you a break from talking.
I think also I give you just one more example. Huh?
Sure.
Sorry.
Yep.
No, it's only one small example that it shows you the difference between to be an umpire and umpires manager. You know, when you're an umpire, you used to receive daily allowance, you know, to eat, for your meals, for your drinks, or whatever. Everybody does. Okay. When I finished the tournament, I used to have not much. I didn't try to don't spend all the money, but if I did, I had to. No, I didn't have any problem. Like I buy present for my boys. You know, I eat every day. I didn't try to avoid any meeting to don't spend money. You know, like everybody does. Okay. When I went to my first tournament in Europe, and Europeans, they gave me 600 euros for 12 days or 14 days. I don't remember because doesn't make any difference. The last day, when I'm going home, I have 500 with me. 500 with me. So I say, how I have 500 with me if I have been here for 14 days? Why? Because I didn't have time to spend it. Because it was very, very clear. Because I bought the sandwich in the stadium, who cost me maybe €5, because sometimes we didn't have dinner or we have very quick dinner. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't buy any present, and I'm not complaining against that. You know what I mean. I'm not complaining against that, but it shows me the difference, the time that you have free to do other things, and when you don't have time, not even to eat. So 500 cash, come home, but it's better business in that way, but the other side of the coin. And the other thing is, I don't know if you asked me this, I guess not, but I tell you, when I started to be as I make the list of the things I learned when I was an umpire, and I didn't want to repeat the negative things. I will say the negative things I saw from other different UMs. I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to mention them, but because they don't deserve that. They are just it's our opinions, our feelings, and I'm not the one who are saying the truth. I'm not the one who is right. All we have is different ways to do the same job. But I make the list and I say, okay, this is the things I'm not going to repeat. This is the things I don't want to do as because this is the things I don't like it. So I every tournament I go, I take that list with me, and I try to keep every day the list and follow the things that I didn't like it to don't repeat it. And I would like also to see more. I wouldn't say interaction, but with the umpires managers and the umpires, because I like the balance to find time to leave them alone, have the dinner or whatever is the case they want to do. I don't try to interfere in all the activities they do because they need their own space. I learned that from Roger, and I really appreciate a lot his advice, because he helped me a lot in my starting and still help me, of course. I love him, and I try to give that space to them, and at the same time I try to get the balance to share time with it. But I would like to see more UMs, like, for example, meeting the umpires in the stands, maybe in a coffee or whatever they met, and asking how do you feel? Are you okay? How do you feel? Are you happy? Are you enjoying the tournament? Is anything that you don't like it? Is anything that I can do for you? It's not only about if you umpire well or not. It's not only about organizing the day. It's not only about giving the report the license. I want to work more from my style, trying to build as like the human side, like the interaction as a humans, as people, and asking, hi Kelly, I know that you used to smile every breakfast. I'll give you an example, something that I used to do, and it's 2 days that I'm not seeing you smiling. Is anything wrong? Is anything I can help you? Is anything happening at home because you don't feel well, or anything that maybe I may help you? I like these kind of things, you know. I like these kind of things, and I try to bring that to my umpiring and manager role when I am in the tournament. I want to add that to the umpires manager role.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I think we missed a little that part.
Yeah, the connections, the relationships. Again, this is the theme that comes up every time in every umpired home session, where we end up talking about how important it is to develop the relationships and know what's, really humanize each other and get to know each other and what's going on. And that is what, again, reaffirms our bonds to each other and to the sport. And that's why you've got so many passionate umpires coming up in Argentina, and you don't have enough places to put them, and all that kind of stuff. So no, that's a wonderful priority. And I think that's something that we can all, take back and do at home, because it's going to really pay off in a lot of ways. How about we pivot into something, because there's a really good question here from Eleanor, and I'm going to try to put it up on the broadcast here, where we're going to start talking about video umpiring, because we can talk about this in absolutely every single broadcast. She's asking about the big evolution of video umpiring. What do you think about the video umpire role, and does it help, or does it put them more in the line of fire with more pressure with the live TV broadcast and that sort of thing? What do you think about that? And we can go into the clip that we have from the World Cup, and maybe, after you give a couple comments, we'll go into that clip so that you can lead us through that, because that's an example of how video referral impacted the game and how you had to handle it, what you had to manage, and all these different things. So go ahead, tell us generally what you think about video umpiring.
I will tell it generally, and then we can go into the point if you want.
Sure.
I was in the tournament, I don't remember which was, I think it was Madrid in 2006, where was the first time that we have video umpire, when we were able to, we could ask if it was a goal, and a goal was deflected from the tackle, if the ball crossed the goal line, blah, blah, blah. That only 3 options that we have for that time. And I had to use that in the final of the World Cup in Madrid, because I didn't see that, a deflection. Okay, a deflection, and so I wasn't sure if it was a long corner or goal, just that small detail. Okay, so that's fine. So at the beginning of the team referral, I was in the tournament in 2010 in the Champions Trophy in England, in Nottingham, where was the first tournament where we use the team referral. It was the first tournament where we have team referral in 2010. So what worries me at the beginning was how the umpires were going to get over after, in case they got wrong, okay? And if that happened many times during the game, I was worried about to say, okay, how is everybody, my question was, is everybody going to be prepared to get over during the game? If she gets wrong, or whatever is the case, and how we are going to deal with this. Okay, and I remember one case in one Champions Trophy, another Champions Trophy or tournament in Holland, where one umpire has 17 calls wrong, team referrals wrong.
Yep.
Okay, 17. Okay, so, and I feel sorry for her, I wasn't in that tournament, but I was thinking, okay, how she will feel with this, how you get over of this. Any umpire in the world, doesn't matter who is, how you get over. So once I started to understand that the video umpire can be my friend, helping me to get decisions right, I started to see the video umpire more nicely, maybe we can be friends. And because at the end of the day, one day I realized that at the end of the day, all what the players want are decisions right, correct decisions. They don't care if Soledad makes the decision, Kelly makes the decision, or the video makes a decision. They want, if it is penalty corner, they want the penalty corner. If it is a stroke, they want the stroke. They will not remember, some cases maybe yes, we will see in the next clips, but in the future, they will not remember who gave, the decision or who made the decision for that penalty corner. They will not remember if it was the Soledad, the clip. They will remember if they score a goal in that penalty corner or not, or maybe they will not remember anything. So once I understood that, and once I understand that video could be my friend and not my enemies, and not something that I have here, like trying to, So I said, maybe we can be friends, and I can see him like someone who is going to help me and help the players. Yep. And I went to the main point in the regulation and the spirit of umpire role on the pitch, and why we go to the game. What for? To serve the game. Why I go to umpire? What for? To serve the game and to help the players to play that match. I'm not going. Of course, I'm going because I like, because I enjoy, because I'm happy. Many things that we can talk for hours. But I'm going there for them. What their players want. The players want right decisions. Is the video umpire or the team referral going to help the players to get more correct decisions? Yes. So I need to be friend of the video umpire and the team referral. So for me, this was the big analysis I did for a couple of years until we love each other, not so much with the video. So I mean, this is the process I had to do in my mind to accept that if I got wrong, okay, that's fine, as long as it's the correct decision for the players. So it's very useful. The players are really, of course, in the highest level, much more. They know how to use it. There are teams who know excellent how to use it. There are some teams, especially the men's teams. I see, for example, the Belgian team. I see the Germans. I see some of the teams that said, "Wow, how good they use the team referral. They know when. They know how. You will never." I watch. I'm very fan of this. I almost sick for the umpiring. I mean, like, I spend hours and hours of my life watching games, and see some teams that they will never use the team referral in the first and the second quarter for something that they are not 100% sure they're right. See, and they know that if it's something about interpretation, they will never use the team referral in the first two quarters, because they know if they lose, they will pay that very expensive, and the last quarter maybe what they need for something really, really important. And these teams, or those teams, are really, really smart, and you see, and it's a pleasure to see when the teams really know how to use the team referral. And I think for the teams who are more emotional, they cannot control their emotions. Some of the Latin teams, they don't realize that, and they lost, and they used to lose the referral for silly things. And you are watching and you say, "How are you asking this? In the first quarter, you are going to lose. Don't be silly." So it's very positive. It's very positive, and I'm happy with that. And we cannot refuse, and we cannot go against, because it has to be our friend. Even when you don't spend good time. With the video, as you know, and you have two clips as example.
This leads so nicely into the clip, Sully. Like, it's perfect. But I just want to pull out again something you said that we heard from Ayana and we heard from a few of the other umpires when we talked about video referrals, is that you were saying in Madrid it was the first time we did this, and in this place it was the first time we did that. And I don't think what people understand at home is that because video umpiring is only used at the top level, the paradox of it is that you'll be at the biggest tournament and something will change, something will be different. And that's got to be so hard to adapt to. As either an umpire and umpire manager, and we'll explore that as we go through this World Cup, this World Cup clip from 2014, because you were explaining to me that at this tournament, and I'm gonna start the clip, Soledad, because I know that you have to start it on your end. We were just having some technical difficulties. And so Sully's going to start the clip so that she can lead us through it as well. Are you ready with that one from the World Cup? You ready to go? Okay, so I'm going to start it on the broadcast here. And there we go. And we're both on the screen, which is super fun. So you were telling me that this was the first tournament where self-referrals had been brought in for goals. Is that right?
No, it was in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In 2014, at the World Cup, was the first time that we could ask for the own referral, for the video referral.
Right. Okay.
For different reasons. Sorry, different reasons. That only if it was like the video umpiring originally in 2006. I want to explain this. I mean, we have video referral in 2006, and we say it was a goal or no goal. Did the ball cross the line? Did the ball was deflected for the attacker or the defender? That's it. 3 questions possible.
Exactly. Okay.
2010, we have the video and the possibility of the team referrals. Okay, right. Team referrals. They could ask whatever they want to ask. 2010. 2014, we have the opportunity and at the World Cup to ask for the own referral. For example, to ask if it like something like, is any reason why I shouldn't give this goal? I shouldn't award this goal. It was the first situation. So there are different stages and different parts of the process. And one of the things I think is that one of the problems of the video umpire has a lot of changes in very, very short time.
Right.
So you don't have time to adapt yourself to all the changes. Okay.
Okay. So we're
do you want me to talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're gonna get here to the second goal in the next video referral. But what had just happened, as we saw on the screen, is that Australia had referred the goal that USA had scored earlier, and they lost that referral. And so now we're in the stage here where USA has scored another goal fairly late in the fourth quarter, but they've lost the referral. And now you two are communicating. So tell me what was happening here.
Okay, USA was attacking. It was I think 3 or 2.5 minutes to the end. Of course, you can see there, and Australia was winning 2-1. One of the Americans hit the ball. I didn't see that ball hit Madonna's played the captain arm or hand. I didn't see from where I was because I was running. You know, I knew that it was only 2 minutes to the end. Okay, and I was crossing the midfield, but I guess because of my angle, my angle, I didn't see that the ball hitting the Australian. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I have the perception, I have the feeling, and I knew that something did happen, but I didn't see. So the instruction that we received from the beginning of the tournament was, if you have any doubt, your own doubt, like natural doubt, okay, go for your own referral. If you have your own doubt. So maybe because I am a lawyer, I am very, love to follow the rules. That of course is something that I regret now watching this, and and I spoke with this from the beginning of after this situation, is that when I met Chico in that circle, she asked me, did you see, and I knew that everyone was listening, and there was like 10,000 people or more than 10,000 people watching, and she asked me, did you see anything? Did you see the arm or something like that? And I said, no, I didn't see. And I said, are you sure? And she said, yeah, I didn't see. So what I regret, and now of course with with the clip and the experience and many things, is that because the only solution I was thinking, I was seeing, but didn't come to my mind in the right time, in the few seconds that you have to make the decision, was to say, Chico, ask your own, because I didn't understand that the rule allowed me to do that. So because the instruction that we received was, if you have your doubt, any doubt,
yeah,
you have a doubt, okay?
Yes.
Inside, natural doubt, go and ask for a new referral. So if I met Chico and she said, I didn't see, and she asked me, did you see? And she was I would say, under panic, because it was a lot of pressure there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I was seeing the body language of the players, something that I used to read and pay attention during the game. And I see the Australians, and I was seeing the Australians. I will see how the American player, the USA player, turn before to celebrate, turn to look at the umpire, and once she saw that the umpire was awarding the goal, she celebrated. And I said, I cannot stay here what I saw, because something happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't see how I fixed this. I
Yeah.
was like, I have a pain here. I'm not lying to you. I have a pain here. And I said, how I fix this when I didn't see what tools, what ways I have to see it. And in how long? 5 seconds? 6 seconds? 7 seconds? And I didn't say, Chico, ask your own, because everybody was going to listen that I was telling Chico, ask your own. And I couldn't ask my own, because it wasn't my circle.
Right.
It wasn't my circle. So I couldn't ask my referral. So after the game, of course, Adam, the Australian coach, was very upset. But I have nothing to say with that, because if I was him, I will be exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I said to him, they come to tell me many not very nice things. What I'm not saying anything against that, because I never been a national player, but I can understand how someone can feel very close to miss the opportunity to play the final of the World Cup. I think that we call this empathy. Mm-hmm. I felt a lot of empathy for the players. This is why I didn't do anything against the things they told me, even Adam, because all I felt was empathy. Yeah. And I said, how I fix this? And the game was finished 2-2. We had to go to shootouts, Of course, I took the shootouts, but all the pressure in my heart, in my head, that I didn't have a space, I didn't have any room to do any mistake during those shootouts. There was no room, no space for any mistakes, because no space, no chance. Of course, they had a video again, because they lost, the relation they lost during the game, but I didn't have a chance. They didn't have room, space, no nothing. I needed to keep the credibility of the players with me, even after what happened. Okay. And every shootout I was saying, come on, Soledad, don't make mistake. Come on, Soledad, don't make mistake. Has to be easy. Has to be easy. I will not tell you that I was praying for Australia to win, because it's not the case, and I think any umpire have to say that in any case. But I wanted that the winner was the fair winner. Yeah. So if Australia, what I really was wishing and thinking and really wishing was, I hope if USA wins, that goal was a goal, because I don't know how I will get over of this if I watch the clip and it wasn't a goal. Yeah. Okay. Finally, Australia won. I said I faced and I met Adam many times after that, even in the World League final in Rosario in 2015. We have a chat, and I said, listen, I'm sorry. And if I see him now, I will say, sorry for what happened. I didn't know what else better to do. 6 years later, I still tell you, I'm sorry. I will say the Australians, I didn't know what else better to do to fix that. Right. And why? Because this is experience. And why? Because from my point of view now, going back and thinking, I don't think the World Cup maybe is a tournament where you can start with new things in terms of regulations. Okay, give me the time to practice. Yeah. Give me the time that if something like that, horrible like that doesn't happen at the World Cup, doesn't happen at the Olympics. Yeah. Change me the rules change me the rules of, I understand one thing, and I will be honest with this, I'm fair with the rules committee or whoever change the tournament regulations, because it's not maybe part of the rules committee. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to make any wrong comment. The regulation of the shootout has been been changing all the time, from the beginning. I'm talking about 2010, because the situations has been changing, and I think the FIH has been trying to cover each situation that may happen during the shootouts and the game. I don't see that as a wrong decision. Because what they try to do is cover the different situation and trying to prevent what can happen during the shootout competition. Absolutely. And maybe it's not right in there anywhere, so nobody knows how to fix it. It's fine. We are happy with that. I don't have any problem. I love it. But give me time, because if something horrible happened that is, I didn't know how to practice. I didn't know what to do, you know. And after the game, the thing is, okay, we have a meeting with the umpires managers, and they ask, okay, what happened? And I didn't know where to start because I feel terrible, you know. This incident is one of the, I think that the ones I still keep with little, not pain, but little frustration, and well, the negative things, like I keep in my career, this one, you know, semi-final in Madrid with Spain and Australia, and what someone that you used to remember that not the best in your life, what umpiring life. And the umpires manager told us, okay, well, I think because of the benefit of the game, you should have asked for the video, the own referral. In front of I don't know how many people, that I cried a lot of time after that. Mm-hmm. And even Australia, knowing that Australia won the game, but I cried because I felt a lot of frustration, because I didn't know what to do or how to do that better. It's like how we are not prepared, how we didn't train this, how we are not instructed to do these things better. Come on, please, I need someone to help me to get over of this. So the umpires manager told us you should have go for I said, okay. I said, listen, I know I'm a lawyer, so I love the rules. I don't feel like I'm a square, but I love the rules. So if you in the beginning of the tournament told us when the team lose the referral, you go for the own referral only if you have the natural your own doubt that you are not sure, go for your referral, because otherwise looks like okay, the Australians lost the referral, but the Australians were putting a lot. Now was Australian. I'm not talking about against the Australians, because it's any team. Doesn't matter. They were putting a lot of pressure on the umpire, okay, on the umpire. So what come after that? What come after that? The come after that is, okay, the umpire will have it up. So this is the part that I couldn't fix in my mind. I couldn't fix in my mind how, if they lose the referral and the umpire doesn't have any doubt, how we don't show the other players and the spectators or whoever it is that we are going for the unreferral, because it's not the pressure of the Australians. You know what I mean? It's like how I do to handle all of this. I want to be fair. I want the right decision. I know the rules. I knew all the rules. I know it has to be the own dub, but I don't want them or the public or the players think that it's a pressure from the Australians. I don't know how to do that better. I still don't know how it could be better. But okay, the umpires managers would say, for the benefit of the game and because what we were playing in the semi-final, maybe you should have go for the video. And then I asked them, then I asked them, okay, so you are telling me that because this is the semifinal, say, this is the semifinal, so I have to go for the unreferral. So if this happened and in the pools matches, so are you telling me that it's not so important? Why someone in the semifinal deserves that the umpire goes for the unreferral, and in the pools matches that player maybe deserves, but because it's a pools match, we don't go. So I honestly, 6 years since then, and I don't have an answer for that, because I understand what they were telling us. I understand, and I support 100% them. There was Marilis and Sarah, and I support 100% them. I want this to be very clear, that I understand their advice. I understand their advice. I understood their advice in that moment, and we had another game coming up that was the final, and the same situation could happen. Yep. So I support the advice. I understand there. But still in my mind, 6 years later, okay, what we do? Why it is fair and what it is necessary in a semi-final, and why in a pool match it's not so important? Someone will say to me, it is important.
Yeah.
But the advice is not the same. So you know what I mean? So it's something that I study the rules, I read the rules, I read the regulations, I go back and read all the changes, and it's something there that still doesn't make me happy. It's like the limit and the point between to have the out and how I separate this with the pressure that the players put on you when they lost the referral.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how are we going to conclude it? How we are going to fix this? The conclusion is the benefit of the game. Okay, every game, each game, all the games, only finals and semifinals, So it's something that still doesn't make me happy in terms of the video referral and the instructions that we receive, or now in my role, the instructions that I have to tell the others. So in one way, I think the video umpire is our friend. In the other way, still some things doesn't make me happy, and in terms of regulations. So it's not anybody's fault.
Yes.
It's that the regulation, who is for me, is not 100% complete or clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I respond your it's like I have been 100% open. So I even tell you that I cry. So it's not easy.
Yeah.
I want to show also others that we have a lot of pressure, and I'm not trying to justify any decision or any wrong decision. I want this clear as well. So I'm not trying to say I did this because no. I'm just being open to share with others how big is the pressure, big is the pressure for the umpires to make decisions and in maybe 5 seconds. Mind 5 seconds, and you have to review in your mind regulations, your colleague situation, what I didn't see, it's not my circle, what can I ask, it's like, oh my god, 5 seconds to do that.
Yep.
So it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's a real challenge, and I think I mean you've hit on all the main points, and just talking about how in the biggest matches, the biggest situations, you've felt that pressure, you've made mistakes that you've learned from, you know where the tension points are, that we're always trying to stay nimble, but maybe if we're not changing things for the biggest tournaments, that might be beneficial. You've seen all this, and I think that's the benefit for us, because you can now bring this experience to your umpire managing, and you're able to have that empathy with the teams and the coaches and the managers, and especially with your team, the umpires, and what they're going through, all the things that they're feeling, and like you were saying before, talking to the umpires more and asking them how they're doing, because you do truly understand, having lived through it, what they might be going through, and then just trying to incorporate all that into building a really positive performance. So yep, that's absolutely fantastic. We are now at the 2 hour point, and this is where we usually cut off. So I think it's probably a good idea, but this has shown me that we should be doing this a lot more often, you and I. We should be doing this like, I don't know, every week. And we'd probably be able to talk on Badger
Okay.
our hockey for more. But let's figure it out how we can do this again, because there were so many other things I wanted to talk to you about. So many great questions came through the
Okay,
chat.
sorry to talk. Sorry, I talk too much. Sorry, I
You were
talk too
right
much.
when you
I'm
said that
sorry.
Argentinians were just going to keep talking. You were right. It's true. I
Yeah.
kind of knew it was going to happen though, which is totally fine. But yeah, let's do this again.
Okay.
If you have a chance, there are a few questions in the comments on the Facebook page.
Yes.
Maybe
Okay.
dictate your 10-minute answer, and
Okay.
in an audio file, and put it on. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It's up to you, however
Perfect.
you want to answer
Okay.
them.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
I'm
there.
happy to do that. Yes.
Fantastic. But I think this has been an incredible experience for everybody. So many good learning points for us to take out, either when we're umpiring or we're umpire managing. And I hope everybody at home sees that despite all the challenges, yourself, me, there's other umpire managers on the thread, that despite all that, we absolutely love doing this. And being able to help umpires is one of the most gratifying things that I've been able to experience
Hmm.
myself. And I know you feel the same way too, because you've had even harder situations that you've lived through, and you've come out on the other side and gone, yeah, I still want to do this for now, but we're gonna keep trying and making it better so that we can support each other, and we want to stay in it longer. So
Of course. Of course.
thanks for
Yeah,
sharing
of
all
course.
of that, Soledad.
Okay.
Amazing stuff. Thank
More
you
than happy.
everybody watching at home for all your questions, and I'm sorry we didn't get to too many of them, but we're gonna try. We'll do better on our next show and all that stuff. So everybody at home, stay safe. I hope everybody's well. And Soledad, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. More than happy to do this, and I'm happy to, because we missed one of the clips. So
Yep.
yeah, we can talk next time if you want about the other clips, because I think everything helps others how to manage situations if you are in that situation once in your life. And I think it's everything and all about to help others. I think this is the main spirit of this. I don't want people to say, Soledad, no. I want to help people to go through these situations better if they have the opportunity or they have the chance to be involved or not. So more than happy to be here. Thank you very much to invite me. I really enjoyed these 2 hours and the rest of the time we spent talking during the week trying to organize this. And okay, stay safe here in Argentina. We are locked down, so more than 90 days now. So I think we will continue this way.
Yeah,
So
I think we're gonna have
thank
more
you very much
opportunities.
for you
You're
on
right.
your job and the great job that you do with your clips. That is the best by far in the world. Trust me, it's wonderful. Keep doing, please. Keep doing,
Thank
please.
you.
We need you. Keep doing.
I will.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. Too stupid to quit, like I say. Anyway, thanks again, Soledad, and
Okay.
thank you everybody at home. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.